Hi guys, you're back with me, Amit Bhatani, on my Back2Basics episode number 4. Um, in the previous episode, we spoke about the physical health, and I ended with, what are the emotions and thoughts that we put into our body also plays an important role into our physical well being. And that brings me to the topic of today, that's on mental and emotional well being. This is itself an exhaustive topic, but I'm going to try and cut short and discuss, few very key techniques that, you could use and inculcate in your daily practice. Now, thoughts are basically the language of your mind, and emotions is the language of your body. Your first experience comes in the form of a thought that comes in your awareness, and then you identify with it. The more you believe in it, the more energy you give to it. That translates into a kind of emotions in your body that you experience, and that emotions then feed into your thoughts, and then the thought feeds into your emotions, and that becomes like a cycle. uh, so what we're going to talk about is, you can do an exercise yourself. Not now. You can shut your eyes and you can think about a thought. Let's go with a positive emotion. You can think about a positive thought that you must have experienced it. Shut your eyes. Think about the experience that you went through when in that thought. Think about the people that were involved in, what dialogues were spoken in, what feelings were you feeling through all your senses. Make it as real as it was possible, and then you can see for yourself the emotion that translates into your body that you experience. So that's a similar thing happens if you do it with a negative thought. I mean, you can create those same experiences and manifest those feelings if you have a negative feeling. So thought comes first and then follows it with an emotion, in my experience, and that's what I think. This is how it works. Um, so it's important to take care of your thought. You take care of your thought. That's the root cause of your emotional experiences and well-being. So once you take care at the root level, I think then the emotionals kind of follow in line and in sync. So we'll work on negative thought patterns that we have predominantly. Why? Because on an average, a human experiences 70 to 75,000 thoughts a day. Majority of them are negative. What went wrong, what is going wrong, what could go wrong. So it's mostly we put ourselves in, these negative scenarios and negative thought patterns, and it's absolutely fine because we all are humans at the end of the day, and that's how that's how it works. So don't kind of uh, berate yourself too much or stress about it. Let's work on, how do we get rid of these negative thought cycles. So there are 4 techniques that I would like to discuss with you on this. The first technique is what I call is be equanimous. So what happens in this is, for example, if you get a thought which you come and you need to get and you're aware of this thought coming, you kind of step back and kind of observe this thought. Don't identify with this thought. Do not give it any kind of an energy or any, do not associate with it. Just observe it in a very neutral manner, just like an observer. Give it space, let the thought move around in that space, and then just let it go and do not identify with it. This is called being equanimous, and it's also called in therapies, these guys call this cognitive diffusion. So this is a very important technique and it works wonders. You can also label the thought when you step behind. So for example, if you have a thought, um, if for example I'm making this video and I get a thought, what is he talking about, as if he's mastered this thought. Are you that perfect that you can give a talk on that? So when you identify with that pattern, you can step back from it and you can be equanimous and at the same time label it. Oh, this is the worrying Amit, worrying about this. So once you give it label, you kind of have a disassociation with the thought that you are, and this is how you keep on working. It's not that the thought is gone forever. It might come again, and again and again. And the less and less energy or life that you give to the thought, and the less and less identification you have with the thought, the easier it becomes. It loses the juice, that thought pattern. and you can get out of these negative thought patterns. Think of it. Another analogy would be like, think of birds in the sky, and birds are the thoughts that are coming across, and and your awareness and space is the sky in which the birds are moving. So think about that, and try to be disassociated from these negative thought patterns, repeated negative thought patterns that you get, and see for yourself if it work. It should definitely work. Second technique that I call is be present. What I mean by be present is that when you get into a negative spiraling thought pattern, and you don't know what to do, or what's going to happen, and maybe to be away from the thought pattern, or to step back and be observer is becomes difficult because the thought is really sticky. What you can do in such case is that you can be present. When I say be present, means get out of the mental dialogue and be present in the situation that you are currently on. Use all your senses. Sense the chair that you're sitting in, hear the sounds, feel the smells that is happening. If there is any dialogue around happening to you, pay attention to that. Means be fully present in that situation with all your senses, because once you do that, all your energies are involved in being in the present moment, and then there is no energy or space left for mental dialogue. So the second pattern is be present. Technique is be present. The third technique that I think is really important is you can do mindfulness. Meditation is really important. So what I do is follow the breath meditation technique. And what is this? You're observing your breath. You're observing your breath where it's hitting your nose. You're observing your breath where it's coming to the nostril. Is it coming to the nostril? Is it going right down till the diaphragm, and then observe it while coming out? How is the breath? Is it a shallow breath? Is it a long breath? Where exactly in the nostrils is the breath hitting you? Is the breath dense? Is there quick? Are you breathing quickly? Are you breathing slowly? So these are breath technique meditation, and they also teach that in Vipassana, and it's called the Anapana meditation. So mindfulness meditation with the breath is I think a wonderful tool to be with the breath. So what happens when you do this? It kind of becomes, you cultivate more of an awareness, and you indulge less in, you stay less in the mental dialogue. So that's the third technique. The fourth technique is what I call questioning. Um, so this is also something which you can try, and this is more on rationalizing and logical reasoning with the thoughts. So if there is a thought pattern which you're being haunted by, these negative thought patterns, the only thing you need to ask, or the question itself, the first question is you need to ask: is this thought useful to me? Is this thought useful to me? So you need to ask. Then the second question you can ask is this thought the truth? How do you know absolutely that this thought is the truth? Is it really the truth? And then you can say, then you can ask another question like, is this really the truth, or is my mind just making up stories from an old habit and just blabbering along? So you're questioning the thought. By doing this is what you're putting your conscious mind, yourself, in control, rather than following a subconscious negative pattern. And then you can quickly change these questioning from negative to positive and say, what can I learn from this? Is there any effective action that I can take from this thought pattern that is happening? What am I grateful for in this moment? So what happens is you're shifting your focus from negative to the positive. And then you come into a positive frame of mind. So then that's how you can turn your energies from a negative state of being to a positive state of being. So this technique is the fourth technique on questioning and stopping your negative thought patterns. um, it's not easy. It's not a quick fix. You need to work on yourself, and you need to keep practicing. You need to keep changing this behavior. What happens is, because of these negative thought patterns, you can compare it to form grooves in a record player. And this is also termed as neuroplasticity. The idea is now to change those negative thought patterns into positive behaviors and attitudes, to change those grooves in the record player, and then therefore change your beliefs and your personality. So you need to work on stopping these negative thought patterns. Once you take care of these thought patterns, then automatically it flows. well into your emotional well-being. Also, you can do a lot of stuff for your emotional well-being. I mean, I will not go into more discussion on emotion, because I feel thought, taking care of the thought is of prime importance. In emotional well-being, you can listen to good music to lift up your mood. You can do creative stuff that you always wanted to do, either be painting or pick up a skill set or learn something new or increase your knowledge base. It's very important. A lot of people do a lot of journaling. You can have a gratitude journal, that helps you to get into a good frame of mind and good emotional well-being. So this good emotional well-being will also again feed into a thought pattern, and then positive thought again feed into your emotional well-being, and then hopefully we get into a cycle, of a better frame, a better state of mental and emotional well-being from what we were. It's a lot of work, guys. I mean, it's not easy. You need to take onus, you need to take responsibility, and you need to work for it. So this brings us to the end of this topic on mental and emotional well-being. Please look out for my last video, which is my favorite, because where I'm going to be talking about energy medicine and energy healing. Um, yeah, so see you next time. Have a great weekend ahead. Stay strong, stay positive, stay healthy. And if you have any queries, please do get back to me or DM me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.